There is a quiet place that exists within the architecture of your own mind, a sanctuary that requires no travel to reach, no ticket to enter, and no permission to inhabit. We spend so much of our lives believing that peace is a destination, a silent countryside, a mountain peak, a house by the sea where the only sound is the rhythmic washing of the tides. We tell ourselves that if we could just move our bodies to these places, the noise in our heads would cease, and the calm we desperate seek would finally wash over us like a cool breeze. But Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who wrote his private thoughts by candlelight in the quiet hours of the Roman night, knew differently. He understood, perhaps better than anyone, that the noise of the world is not geographic. It does not live in the city streets or the crowded markets. It lives in the judgments we make about them. And so, he offered us a different map, not to a place on the earth, but to a fortress inside the soul. Nowhere, he wrote, can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Let us consider this for a moment, not as a command, but as a gentle invitation. Imagine that your mind is not a chaotic vessel at the mercy of the waves, but a vast, silent structure, a citadel. Outside, the winds may howl, the rain may lash against the stone, and the noise of history may march past the gates. But inside, in the deepest chamber of this fortress, the air is still, the light is warm and steady, and you are safe. This is the core of the Stoic retreat. It is the realization that the world outside of you, the demands of your day, the opinions of others, the endless shifting tides of fortune, none of these things can actually touch the center of who you are unless you open the door and let them in. Think of the events of your life as a river. Marcus often spoke of time as a violent river, a torrent that sweeps everything away. One thing is seen, and then it is gone. Another thing comes into view, and that too will be swept away. It sounds frightening at first, this impermanence, but there is a deep, abiding peace in it if you look closely. If everything is moving, if everything is changing, then you do not need to hold on so tightly. You do not need to grip the banks of the river until your knuckles turn white. You can simply float. To retreat into oneself is not to escape reality, but to look at reality with a softer gaze. It is to realize that the anxiety you feel is not caused by the thing itself, but by your opinion of the thing. And you are always free, at any moment, to revoke that opinion. You can look at a worry, a fear, or a regret, and you can say to it gently, "You are just a thought. You are not the thing itself." And in that moment of recognition, the weight of it begins to dissolve, like mist burning off a morning field. Consider the concept of the view from above. The Stoics would often imagine themselves floating high above the earth, looking down at the tiny movements of humanity. From that height, the arguments, the rushing, the urgency of daily life, it all becomes a slow, silent pattern. It looks like the movement of ants or the drifting of clouds. When you adopt this view, the problems that seem to loom so large in front of your face suddenly shrink back to their proper size. They are small, they are temporary, and they are happening a long way down. You are up here in the quiet air. You are watching the world turn, slowly and inevitably, and you realize that you are part of something much larger than your own schedule. You are part of the Logos, the great, rational unfolding of the universe. You belong here. You are not a stranger in this world. You are a piece of it, just like the oak tree, just like the ocean, just like the stars that turn overhead while you sleep. And because you are part of nature, you are safe within nature. Marcus wrote that nothing can happen to a person that is not natural to a person. The universe does not make mistakes. The seasons change, the leaves fall, the night comes, and the day breaks. It is a cycle that has been turning for billions of years, a rhythm that is so steady, so reliable, that you can rest your entire weight upon it. So, as you lie here now, perhaps feeling the weight of your own day or the anticipation of tomorrow, try to practice this retreat. Visualize that inner room. Maybe for you, it is a library with shelves of books that stretch up into the shadows. Maybe it is a garden surrounded by high stone walls where the wind never blows. Go there now. Notice how the noise of the outside world is muffled there. It is just a dull hum in the distance, unconnected to you. You are the observer. You are the one watching the thoughts drift by, but you are not the thoughts. You are the stillness behind them. Constantly grant yourself this retreat, Marcus advised, and renew yourself. It is a simple prescription. We renew ourselves not by doing more, but by stopping, by remembering that we are separate from the chaos. The chaos is out there, swirling and shouting, but the peace is in here, waiting for you to notice it. It is interesting to think that the man who wrote these words was an emperor. He could have had anything he wanted, any luxury, any distraction, any pleasure. And yet, he found that the only thing that truly comforted him, the only thing that allowed him to sleep at night in his tent on the dark frontiers of the empire, was this practice of turning inward, of reminding himself that he was just a small part of a vast whole, and that all he had to do was play his part and then rest. "Everything fits," he wrote. "Everything is arranged." There is such a comfort in that idea, that things are arranged, that you do not have to hold the world on your shoulders. You do not have to figure everything out tonight. The universe has already figured it out. The planets are moving in their orbits without your help. The trees are growing. The tides are shifting. Your heart is beating, pumping life through you, without you having to command it. You are being taken care of by the very machinery of nature, so you can let go. You can loosen your grip on the control stick. You can let the river take you. Think about the quality of acceptance. We often fight against the way things are. We wish the moment was different. We wish we were different. And this wishing creates a tension, a tightness in the chest. But Stoicism asks us to align our will with the will of the universe, to say to the moment, "I accept you as you are." When you stop fighting the moment, a tremendous amount of energy is released. The tension leaves your muscles. The racing mind slows down because there is no problem to solve anymore. If the moment is exactly as it should be because it could not be any other way, then there is nothing for you to fix. You can just be. Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over, Marcus said. It stands unmoved and the raging of the sea falls still around it. You are that rock. The thoughts are just waves. They crash, they foam, they make noise. But they are water. They have no substance. They wash over you and pull back, wash over and pull back, and you remain solid, still, ancient. Let's go deeper into this inner citadel. Imagine walking down a long stone corridor within your mind. The air is cool and smells of old paper and rain. With every step you take, you are moving further away from the surface, further away from the demands of the waking world. You pass windows that look out onto your life, but the glass is thick and wavy, like old glass. You can see the shapes of your responsibilities, the colors of your worries, but they are blurry and silent. They cannot reach you here. You keep walking, deeper and deeper, until you reach that central room. In this room, there is only the present moment. The past is a memory, a story written in a book that is closed on the shelf. The future is a fog, unformed and non-existent. All that exists is this breath. this feeling of the sheets against your skin, this shadow on the wall. Marcus reminded himself constantly to confine his life to the present. Each of us lives only now, he wrote, this brief instant. The rest has already been lived or is impossible to see. When you confine your life to the present, the burden becomes very light. Can you bear this moment? Just this one singular second? Yes, of course you can. It is only when we try to carry the weight of the entire future that we collapse. But here, in the retreat, there is no future. There is only the gentle, rhythmic rising and falling of the now. It is a form of eternity, this present moment. It is the only thing that has ever existed. When you were a child, it was now. When you are old, it will be now. The content of the moment changes. The scenery shifts. The characters enter and leave. But the quality of presence remains the same. You are the witness of the now. And as the witness, you are untouched. The Stoics believed that the soul was like a sphere, perfectly round, self-contained. If it keeps its shape, the world glides off it. It is only when we extend our desires outward, when we try to grab things that are not ours, that we lose our shape and become vulnerable. But tonight, you are not grabbing. You are retracting. You are pulling your energy back into the sphere. You are calling your spirit back from the worries of tomorrow, calling it back from the regrets of yesterday and letting it settle right here, in the center of your chest. Feel that settling. It is like the sediment in a glass of water that has been stirred up. As long as you keep stirring, worrying, planning, thinking, the water remains cloudy. But the moment you set the glass down, the moment you decide to be still, the sediment begins to drift to the bottom, slowly, inevitably, and the water becomes clear. This clarity is what Marcus called the ruling faculty, or the directing mind. It is the part of you that is wise, that knows that everything is going to be okay because everything is just nature doing what nature does. Let's think about the concept of sympathia again, the connection of all things. Sometimes, when we can't sleep, we feel incredibly lonely. We feel like we are the only conscious being in a dark, silent house, while the rest of the world has drifted off. But the Stoic view is that we are woven into a fabric that never sleeps. The air you are breathing is the same air that is moving through the trees outside your window. The atoms in your body were forged in the hearts of ancient stars. You are chemically connected to the earth, biologically connected to the rest of humanity, and atomically connected to the universe. You are never alone because you are the universe experiencing itself. When you retreat into yourself, you are actually retreating into the universal soul. You are tapping into a wisdom that is much older than you are. That is why it feels so quiet. You are dropping below the surface waves of your individual personality and sinking into the deep, dark ocean of universal being. Down here, the water is heavy and slow. The frantic movements of the surface do not matter. A storm could be raging up above, but down here, in the deep, there is only silence. Discard your misperceptions, Marcus wrote. Stop being jerked like a puppet by your impulses. Sleep is the ultimate cutting of the strings. It is the moment we lay the puppet down. We stop performing. We stop reacting. We simply let the body be a body. We let the mind return to its source. Imagine that you are walking through that inner library again. You see a book on a table titled Things I Cannot Control. It is a massive, heavy book. It contains the weather, the economy, the past, the opinions of other people, the traffic, the outcome of your projects. You look at this book, and you gently close the cover. You slide it back onto the shelf. You do not need to carry it tonight. You see another book titled Things I Can Control. It is a very thin, light book. Inside, there is only one page. And on that page, it says, "My own mind, right now." That is all. That is the only thing you have to carry, and even that you can lay down now. The whole of the universe is change, Marcus said, and life itself is but what you deem it. If you deem this moment to be peaceful, it becomes peaceful. If you deem the darkness to be a comforting blanket, it becomes a blanket. You have that power. The dark is not empty. It is full of rest. It is a velvet wrapping that the world puts around itself to recover from the brightness of the day. Allow yourself to sink into that velvet. Allow the edges of your thoughts to blur. The sharp lines of your identity are softening. You are not John or Sarah or professor or student right now. You are just a breathing awareness, a point of light in the inner citadel. Dig within, Marcus wrote. Within is the well of good, and it is always ready to bubble up if you just dig. We are digging now, but not with shovels. We are digging with relaxation. We are digging by letting go. We are finding that well of good, that source of calm water that lives under the bedrock of your anxiety. It is always there. Even on your worst days, even when the noise is deafening, the well is still there, deep underneath, waiting for you to return to it. You are returning now. Feel the gravity of the earth holding you. The Stoics love to contemplate gravity, the force that binds the universe together. It is holding you to your bed, holding your bed to the floor, holding the house to the earth, and holding the earth in its orbit around the sun. You are being held by a cosmic embrace. You do not need to hold yourself up. You can surrender to the pull. Drift deeper into the citadel. The lights in the hallways are dimming now. The fire in the hearth is burning low, casting long, slow shadows on the walls. The dust motes are settling on the floor. Everything is slowing down. The river of time is flowing, but you are resting on the bank. You are watching it go by, and you are content to let it flow. You do not need to swim in it tonight. You do not need to steer the boat. You are safe on the shore. Pass through this brief patch of time in harmony with nature, Marcus advised, and come to your final resting place gracefully, just as a ripened olive might drop, praising the earth that bore it, and grateful to the tree that gave it growth. Tonight, you are that ripened olive. You are dropping from the branch of the day. You are letting go, not with fear, but with gratitude. Grateful for the day that has passed, whatever it held. Grateful for the safety of this night. Grateful for the tree of life that supports you. You are falling gently through the warm air, falling towards rest, falling towards the earth. The inner citadel is closing its gates for the night. The drawbridge is coming up. The world is on the other side, and it can take care of itself for a while. You are inside. You are safe. You are at peace. Retreat. Retreat into the silence. Retreat into the soul. Retreat into the sleep that is natural and necessary and yours. Let us now step out of the stone corridors of the inner citadel. We leave the heavy oak doors and the silent library behind for a moment, though they remain there, always ready for your return. In your mind's eye, walk out into the landscape of the soul and find the water. You hear it before you see it, a low, continuous, rushing sound, not aggressive, but relentless. It is the sound of deep water moving over the earth. You approach the bank. the grass cool and damp beneath your feet, and you look out at the river. It is wide, so wide that the opposite bank is just a hazy line of trees in the mist. The water is dark, reflecting the twilight sky, and it is moving, always moving. This is the river of time. Marcus Aurelius spent a great deal of his life staring into this river. He sat by the banks of the Danube in the grey winters of Germania, watching the actual water flow past his camp, and he saw in it the perfect metaphor for existence. Time is a sort of river, he wrote, of passing events, and strong is its current. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by, and another takes its place, and this too will be swept away. Pause and watch the current. Notice the objects floating on the surface. A branch, a leaf, a patch of foam. Watch one specific leaf as it drifts into your field of vision. It is here. It is present. It is the now. And then, in the span of a breath, it has drifted past. It has moved downstream into the past, never to return to this exact spot again. And behind it immediately comes another leaf, and another. This is the nature of our reality. It is a ceaseless flow of coming to be and passing away. For many of us, this idea creates a deep, thrumming anxiety. We are afraid of the current. We are afraid of things passing. We want the moment to freeze. We want our loved ones to stay exactly as they are. We want our bodies to stop aging. We want the good times to anchor themselves in the bedrock and never move. We spend so much of our energy trying to build dams in the river of time. We try to hold back the water with our bare hands. We swim upstream, fighting against the inevitable flow, exhausting our muscles, gasping for air, terrified that if we stop swimming, we will be lost. But the Stoic wisdom invites you to do something radical. It invites you to stop swimming. It invites you to turn onto your back, to let your limbs go limp, and to let the river take you. Why do we fight the flow? Because we are under the illusion that we can possess time. But Marcus reminds us gently that time is not a possession. It is a medium. You cannot own the water that flows past you, just as you cannot own the wind that blows through your hair. You can only experience it as it touches you. Pass through this brief patch of time in harmony with nature, he whispered. Harmony. Think of what that feels like in the body. It means no resistance. It means matching your speed to the speed of the universe. The river is moving at a specific pace, the pace of reality. When you are anxious, you are trying to move faster than the river. When you are regretful, you are trying to move slower than the river. But when you are peaceful, you are moving at the exact speed of the current. You are buoyant. You are weightless. Feel that buoyancy now. Imagine the water supporting you. It is cool and silky against your skin. It holds you up without any effort on your part. You do not need to tread water. You do not need to steer. The river knows where it is going. It is flowing towards the ocean, just as it has done for millennia, just as it will do for millennia more. From this position, floating on your back, looking up at the vast, empty sky, the violent torrent that Marcus spoke of is no longer violent. It is just a cradle. It is carrying you. Let us look at the nature of this sweeping away. We often view loss as a tragedy, but in the logic of the river, loss is simply movement. The water that passes you is not gone. It has just moved further downstream. Marcus often thought about the great figures of the past to calm his own mind. He thought of the court of Augustus, the first emperor. He imagined the bustling halls, the intrigue, the urgency. The people who were so convinced that their problems were the most important things in the universe. Then turn to the times of Tiberius, he wrote, and endless others. You will see that people were just the same. They married, raised children, fell ill, died, fought, feasted, trafficked, cultivated the land, flattered, were arrogant, suspected, plotted, and now they are nowhere. They have flowed down the river. The water has closed over their heads. Does this thought make you feel small? Good. Let the smallness comfort you. If the mighty emperors with all their armies and their marble cities have dissolved into the mist of time, then surely your embarrassment at work yesterday does not matter. Surely your worry about the bill that is due, or the awkward conversation you had, is insignificant in the face of this great rolling current. The river washes everything clean. It erodes the sharp edges of our pain. Think of a stone in the riverbed. Once, it was jagged and rough. It had sharp corners that could cut. But after years of the water rushing over it, the stone has become round. It is smooth. It is soft to the touch. This is what time does to our troubles if we let it. It smooths them down. The grief that feels sharp today will be rounder tomorrow. The anger that feels jagged right now will be polished by the simple, steady movement of the hours. Time is a healer, we say. But really, time is a river. It creates distance. It carries us away from the source of the pain, mile by mile, until the thing that hurt us is just a speck on the distant shore. Drift further now. Feel the current pulling you gently, tugging at your clothes, loosening the knots in your shoulders. You are fluid. You are becoming part of the stream. Heraclitus, a philosopher Marcus admired deeply, said, "No man steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man." Consider the profound rest in that idea. You are not the same person you were when you lay down in this bed tonight. You have changed. Your cells have regenerated. Your thoughts have shifted. The river has moved on. You do not need to carry the you of yesterday into the you of tomorrow. You can release that version of yourself. Let it float away downstream like a piece of driftwood. You are constantly being renewed. Every second is a fresh stream of water touching you. Every breath is a new beginning. You are not a stagnant pond, choking on algae and old leaves. You are a channel for the fresh, cold water of the universe. Let it flow through you. Sometimes we look at the future and we see rapids. We hear the roar of white water in the distance and we feel afraid. We tense our muscles, preparing for impact. But the Stoic asks, why suffer before it is necessary? Never let the future disturb you, Marcus wrote. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. The water you are floating in right now, this calm, smooth patch of the river, is the same water that will be in the rapids. It will hold you then, just as it holds you now. You do not need to swim ahead to fight the rapids before you reach them. You are here. You are in the calm water. Be in the calm water. Feel the sensation of dissolving. Sleep is a kind of dissolving. It is the moment where the boundaries between you and the world become porous. The riverbank blurs. The sky and the water merge into one dark, comforting shade of blue. The ancient Greeks spoke of the river Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, which flowed through the underworld. Souls would drink from it to forget their past lives before being born again. In a way, every night is a journey to the river Lethe. We need to forget. We need to wash off the dust of the day. We need to let the memories of the last 16 hours detach from us and sink into the silt. Imagine that process now. Imagine that the water of this river is washing away the sticky residue of the day. The conversations you replayed in your head. They are dissolving into the water like ink. The tension in your jaw, it is melting, flowing out of you, being carried away by the current. The lists of things to do, they are just paper boats, bobbing away, vanishing around the bend of the river. You do not need to chase them. They will be there if you need them, or they won't. But they are not here. Here there is only the flow. The present is all that a person can give up, Marcus reminded us. You cannot give up the past, it is already gone. You cannot give up the future, it is not yet yours. You can only give up this moment. And tonight, giving up is a victory. It means surrendering. It means offering this moment back to the universe.
Here, you say, take it. I am done with it.
There is a deep humility in being a creature of time. We are temporary. We are fragile. We are, as Marcus said, a little soul carrying a corpse. But there is also a majesty in it, because we are part of the flow. We are connected to everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. The water that holds you up is the same water that held up Socrates. It is the same water that will hold up the children of your children's children. It is one continuous stream. You are not isolated in your room. You are drifting in the great artery of existence. Listen to the sound of the river again. It is a white noise, a steady shh. It sounds like the blood rushing in your own ears. It sounds like the wind in the trees. It is the sound of the logos, the rational animating force of the cosmos. It does not speak in words, it speaks in rhythms. Inhale, the tide comes in. Exhale, the tide goes out. Inhale, the river rises. Exhale, the river falls. You are synchronizing with this rhythm. Your heartbeat is slowing down to match the pulse of the current. You are no longer a swimmer. You are the water itself. Think of the universal substance, Marcus wrote, of which you have a very small portion, and of universal time, of which a short and indivisible interval has been assigned to you. A short interval. It sounds frightening to the ego, which wants to live forever. But to the tired spirit, it sounds like a promise. You do not have to do this forever. You only have to do it for a short while. The burden of consciousness is not eternal. You are allowed to lay it down. You are allowed to rest. The river is widening now. The banks are disappearing. The current is slowing down, becoming deep and glassy. The stars are reflecting on the surface of the water, so that you are floating between two skies, one above, one below. You are drifting through a canyon of silence. The rocks rise up on either side, dark and protective, shielding you from the wind. There is nothing to do here but drift. If a thought comes into your mind, a sharp, jagged rock of a thought, do not try to smash it. Do not try to push it away. Just flow around it. You are water. Water yields. Water moves around obstacles and keeps going. Be yielding. Be soft. The impediment to action advances action, Marcus said. What stands in the way becomes the way. In the river, the rock that blocks the flow actually creates the path of the water. The obstacle directs you. So if you feel a pain or a worry, accept it as just another stone in the riverbed. Flow over it. It shapes your course, but it does not stop you. Nothing can stop the flow. You are moving towards the ocean, the great, vast, salt-heavy ocean of sleep. You can smell the salt in the air now. You can feel the vastness opening up ahead of you. The river of time is not leading you to a waterfall. It is leading you to a reunion. It is leading you back to the source. As we prepare to leave the river and drift higher into the view from above, take a moment to thank the current. Thank the passing of time. Thank the fact that nothing lasts, because if things lasted forever, you would never be able to rest. The day ends so that you can sleep. The trouble ends so that you can have peace. The water is heavy. Your eyelids are heavy. You are drifting. Everything is fluid. Everything is washing away. You are safe in the current. You have drifted down the river of time, carried by the current, weightless and supported. Now, let us change the sensation. Imagine that the water beneath you is evaporating, turning into a mist, a cloud, and you are rising with it. You are becoming lighter than air. You are lifting off the surface of the earth, floating upwards into the cool, dark embrace of the night sky. Marcus Aurelius practiced this movement of the mind often. He called it washing the intellect in the vastness. When the noise of the Roman camps became too loud, or the petty arguments of the Senate too draining, he would send his mind up. He would detach from the ground and look at his life from the perspective of the stars. Think of the substance of the universe, he wrote, how vast it is. Think of all time, how infinite, and look at the tiny span of life assigned to us, a mere point in the abyss. Feel yourself rising now. You float up through the roof of this building, passing through the ceiling as if it were made of smoke. You rise above the trees, above the streetlights. The sounds of the world begin to fade. The car engines, the distant sirens, the hum of electricity, it all drops away. You are entering the silence of the upper atmosphere. The air here is thin and cold, and incredibly pure. It clears the lungs. It clears the head. Look down. See your city or your town spreading out below you like a grid of glowing embers. From this height, you cannot see the details. You cannot see the bills on the table. You cannot see the expression on someone's face that worried you today. You cannot see the cracks in the pavement. You can only see the pattern. It is beautiful from up here. It is silent. The chaos of human life resolves into a quiet geometry of light and shadow. Rise higher. The city shrinks to a speck. The coastline curves. The blue arc of the atmosphere gives way to the deep, velvet black of space. You are not afraid here. You are not lost. You are simply returning to the cosmic scale where you truly belong. Asia and Europe, Marcus observed, looking down from this mental height, are mere corners of the universe. The great ocean is a drop of water. Mount Athos is a little clod of earth. Think about that. If the entire continent is just a corner, then the room you are lying in is microscopic. And if the room is microscopic, then the worry that is keeping you awake, that tight knot of anxiety in your chest, is smaller than an atom. It is invisible. It does not register on the scale of the stars. This is the comfort of insignificance. We often fight to be significant, to be important, to matter, and that fight is exhausting. But up here, in the vastness, you are free from the burden of importance. You are free from the need to be anything other than a witness. Look around you. You are floating in the great dark hole of the universe. It is peaceful here. There is no wind. There is no sound. There is only the slow, majestic turning of the spheres. Marcus loved to contemplate the stars. Watch the stars, he told himself, and see yourself running with them. See them now. Millions of them. Points of steady, ancient light. They are not anxious. They do not rush. They do not compete with one another. A star does not look at its neighbor and wish it burned brighter. It simply burns. It simply is. They move in their orbits with a perfect mathematical precision that has lasted for billions of years. Compared to the frantic, jerky movements of our daily lives, the movement of the cosmos is a slow, heavy lullaby. Connect your breath to that movement. Inhale, and imagine the expansion of a nebula, growing slowly over 1,000,000 years. Exhale, and imagine a star collapsing gently into a white dwarf, settling into its final rest. The timeline of the universe is so long that your problems literally do not exist within it. They are flashes of lightning in a thunderstorm, bright for a split second, and then gone. The dark remains. The silence remains. Look at the past, Marcus wrote. Empire after empire, and all the people who lived then, who worried, who fought, who loved. Where are they now? Nowhere, or a handful of dust. This is not a sad thought. It is a liberating one. It means that the pressure you feel is an illusion. The urgency is a trick of perspective. When you are on the ground, the wall in front of you looks like it touches the sky. But when you fly above it, you see that it is just a thin line in the sand. You can step over it. You can float over it. You are floating over your own life right now. You are looking down at the person lying in your bed, that tiny, sleeping figure wrapped in blankets. Send them compassion. Look at that person and say, "Rest now." The universe is holding you. The earth is carrying you. From this height, you can see the interconnectedness of everything. The Stoics called it the sympatheia, the sympathy of the whole. You see that the air moving over the ocean is the same air that moves through the forests. You see that the clouds drifting over one country will rain on another. There are no borders up here. There is only one breathing organism. All things are woven together, Marcus said, and the common bond is sacred. You are woven into this. You are not separate. Sometimes, insomnia comes from a feeling of separation, a feeling that we are cut off from the world, isolated in our minds. But the view from above heals this cut. It shows you that you are made of the same stardust as the galaxies. You are governed by the same laws of gravity and light. You fit perfectly. Drift deeper into the void. The blackness of space is not empty. It is full of peace. It is a thick, soft darkness. It wraps around you like a heavy quilt. It absorbs noise. It absorbs light. It absorbs thought. In this space, there is no noise. There is no news. There is no politics. There is only the eternal laws of nature. Gravity, entropy, cycle. Observe the movements of the stars as if you were revolving with them, Marcus advised. Such imaginings wash away the filth of life on the ground. Wash away the filth. Imagine that the starlight is a cleansing water. It washes over your mind, rinsing away the petty irritations of the day. The comment someone made that annoyed you, it floats away into the vacuum, dissolving into nothing. The mistake you made, it is swallowed by the vastness. It is gone. In the face of the infinite, your mistakes are not catastrophes, they are dust. Feel the rotation of the earth below you. It is turning at a speed of 1,000 miles an hour, and yet it feels perfectly still. That is the power of momentum. That is the power of surrender. The earth does not try to spin. It just spins. You do not need to try to sleep. You just need to let gravity take you. Look at the moon. It hangs in the darkness, a silent sentinel. It has watched over the sleep of every human being who has ever lived. It watched over Marcus Aurelius in his tent. It watched over the shepherds in the fields. It watched over your ancestors. And now, it watches over you. It is a witnessing presence. It does not judge. It does not ask you to achieve anything. It just shines. Be like the moon, cold, bright, silent, watching the clouds pass without holding onto them. He who sees the present has seen all things, Marcus wrote, all that has been from eternity, and all that shall be to infinity, for all things are of one kinship. You have seen enough. You have seen the day. You do not need to see more tonight. You can close the eye of the mind. You can let the eyelids descend. There is a concept in Stoicism called the cosmic city. It is the idea that the universe is one great city, and we are all citizens of it. Tonight, the city lights are out, the streets are quiet, the citizens are resting. You have done your duty for the day. You have walked your patrol. Now, you can hang up your cloak. You can lay down your shield. You are suspended in the great, dark womb of the cosmos. There is nothing to do here but float. Notice how the silence of space seems to press against your ears. It is a heavy silence. It creates a pressure, a comforting weight that pushes the thoughts out of your head. There is no room for chatter in the vacuum. There is only being. Time is a point, Marcus said. Life is a warfare and a stranger's sojourn, and after fame is oblivion. Oblivion. We fear that word, but tonight, let us reclaim it. Oblivion is rest. Oblivion is the state of deep, dreamless sleep, where you are no longer burdened by having a name, or a history, or a to-do list. Oblivion is the ultimate holiday. Drift towards that oblivion. Drift towards the event horizon of sleep. You are slowly descending now. You are not falling. You are drifting down like a feather. You are leaving the high orbit and sinking back towards the atmosphere of dreams. The air is getting warmer. The gravity is getting gentler. You are bringing the silence of the stars down with you. You are bringing the vastness into your small room. The roof of your room opens to receive you, and then closes again, keeping you safe. You settle back into your body, but you feel different now. You feel expanded. You know that the room is small, but your mind is large. You know that the problems are tiny, and the peace is infinite. You are back in the inner citadel, but the roof is open to the sky. You can see the constellations turning above you. You are anchored, but you are also infinite. Dwell on the beauty of life, Marcus said. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. You are running with them now, not running with effort, but running with the smooth, frictionless motion of a planet in orbit. Round and round, breath in, breath out, rise and fall. The view from above has shown you the truth, that you are small, and therefore you are free. You are not responsible for the rotation of the galaxies. You are not responsible for the rising of the sun. You are only responsible for this breath. And the next one. Rest in that smallness. Rest in that freedom. The stars are your nightlight. The vacuum is your blanket. The universe is your home. Sleep now, tiny citizen of the great cosmos. Sleep. We descend now from the stars. We leave the cold, vast silence of space and return gently to the room, to the texture of the blankets, to the warmth of the air. But we bring the perspective of the cosmos with us. We return with the understanding that we are part of a great, intricate design. Imagine, for a moment, a loom, a massive, ancient loom made of dark wood, standing in the center of the inner citadel. It is the loom of necessity. It has been working since the beginning of time, weaving the fabric of the universe, thread by thread, moment by moment. Listen to the sound of it. Clack, shh, clack, shh. The rhythmic passing of the shuttle. It is a hypnotic, steady sound, like a heartbeat. It never rushes, it never pauses. It simply weaves. You are a thread in this tapestry. Your life, this specific life, with its specific parents, its specific struggles, its specific joys, and even this specific night of wakefulness. is a single, golden thread being woven into a picture that is too vast for you to see. Marcus Aurelius found immense comfort in this image. He realized that if the universe is a rational, living organism, then nothing that happens is an accident. Everything is a thread that needs to be there to hold the fabric together. Everything that happens, he wrote, happens as it should, and if you observe carefully, you will find this to be so. This is the concept of amor fati, a love of one's fate. Not just tolerance, not just getting through it, but love. It is the deep, bone-deep acceptance that this moment, exactly as it is the only moment that could possibly exist. When we lie awake at night, tossing and turning, it is often because we are arguing with the pattern. We are pulling at the threads. We are saying, I wish this hadn't happened, or I wish I were somewhere else, or I wish I were someone else. We tug and we pull, and all we create is a knot. We create tension in the fabric. We create tension in our own muscles. But the weaver does not make mistakes. The pattern is already set. O nature, Marcus wrote, whispering to the universe, from thee are all things. In thee are all things. To thee all things return. To retreat into the web of fate is to stop pulling. It is to let your thread lie flat. It is to realize that you are held in place by the tension of the whole. You are supported by the threads on your left and on your right. The people you know, the events you cannot control, the history that came before you. You are held. Think of the events of your day today. Maybe there was a delay. Maybe there was a spilled cup of coffee. Maybe there was a moment of frustration. The anxious mind looks at these things as intruders, as mistakes. But the Stoic mind looks at them as raw material. Marcus used the metaphor of a fire. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. If you throw a heavy log onto a small fire, it might smother it. But if the fire is strong, it consumes the log. It wraps around it. It turns the obstacle into fuel. It burns brighter because of the log. Your mind is that fire. The events of your life are the wood. You do not need to choose the wood. You do not need to chop it or stack it. Whatever is thrown into the fire, be it a difficulty, a sorrow, or a quiet night of insomnia, you consume it. You say, this too is fuel. This too is part of my life. This too I can accept. Feel the heat of that acceptance. It warms the chest. It relaxes the jaw. It burns away the resistance. Accept the things to which fate binds you, Marcus advised, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. With all your heart. That is the key. Do not accept your life grudgingly. Do not lie there resenting the fact that you are awake. Accept it with a soft heart. Say to the night, I am here. You are here. We are together in the weave. When you stop fighting the reality of the moment, a silence opens up. It is the silence of non-resistance. It is the silence of a thread that has stopped vibrating and has settled into the cloth. Imagine the strength of a fabric. One thread alone is weak. It can be snapped by a gentle breeze. But when it is woven together with millions of others, it becomes strong. It becomes a sail that can catch the wind and drive a ship across the ocean. It becomes a blanket that can keep a child warm. You are not alone because you are woven in. You are connected to the cause that caused the cause that caused you to be here. A chain of events stretching back to the Big Bang has led inevitably to you lying in this bed, listening to this voice. It could not have gone any other way. What is not good for the beehive, Marcus said, cannot be good for the bee. And the reverse is true. What is necessary for the universe is necessary for you. You are the bee. You have your small task, your small flight to make, your small amount of honey to gather. And then you return to the hive. You trust the hive. You trust that the colony knows what it is doing. Rest in that trust. Trust is a heavy blanket. Pull it up to your chin. Think of the complexity of the web. Think of how a delay in traffic 2 years ago might have saved you from an accident. Think of how a disappointment 10 years ago led you to a new path where you found a friend. We cannot see the pattern while we are inside it. We are too close to the loom. We only see the flash of color, the blur of the shuttle. But we can assume there is a picture. We can assume there is a beauty to it. The whole is rational, the Stoics believed. The universe is not a pile of random atoms. It is a city, a structure, a song. Listen to the song of fate. It is a low hum. It is the sound of things fitting together. Click, click, click. The puzzle pieces falling into place. You do not have to force them. You do not have to hammer the pieces to make them fit. They fit because they were made to fit. Your life fits into the world. Your body fits into the bed. Your breath fits into the air. Everything fits. Willingly give yourself up to Clotho, Marcus wrote, referring to the goddess who spins the thread of life, allowing her to spin your thread into whatever she pleases. Willingly. That is the word of sleep. We cannot force sleep. We can only willingly give ourselves up to it. We surrender to the spinner. We say, spin me, weave me. I am yours. There is a profound relaxation in realizing you are not the general of the universe. You are not the director of the movie. You are the actor. The script has been written by a playwright much wiser than you. Your only job is to say the lines, to play the scene, and then, when the curtain falls, to rest. The curtain is falling on the day now. The scene is over. You played your part. Maybe you stumbled over a line. Maybe you missed a cue. It does not matter. The play moves on. The other actors are moving to their places. The scenery is changing. You can go to the dressing room. You can take off the costume. You can wash the makeup from your face. You are just you again. The raw material. The thread. Feel the texture of your own existence. It is not smooth and plastic. It has grit. It has texture. It has bumps and knots. That is what makes it real. A synthetic fabric is cold. A natural fabric, like wool or linen, has irregularities. It holds the warmth. Your life is a natural fabric. It is imperfect, and that is why it is warm. Embrace the imperfections. Embrace the fact that you are tired. Embrace the fact that your mind is wandering. It is all part of the weave. The art of living, Marcus said, is more like wrestling than dancing. It requires a stance. It requires balance. But tonight, the wrestling match is over. You have shaken hands with your opponent, who was never really your opponent, but your partner in the dance of fate. You have left the mat. You are walking out into the cool night air. The sweat is drying on your skin. The muscles are cooling down. You realized that the thing you were wrestling with, fate, was actually holding you up. The ground you were fighting on was supporting your feet. Let gravity do the work now. Gravity is the physical manifestation of fate. It pulls everything to the center. It holds everything together. You cannot fight gravity, and you do not want to. You want to succumb to it. Feel yourself getting heavier. The bed is rising up to meet you. The pillow is cradling your head. You are sinking into the mesh of the mattress, just as you are sinking into the mesh of the universe. Think of a spider web in the morning, covered in dew. It is delicate, yet it survives the storm. It bends with the wind. It catches the light. You are like that web. You are fragile, yes, but you are resilient. You have survived every bad day you have ever had. You have navigated every turn in the river. You have been woven into the story, and the story is not over, but the chapter is closing. Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Epictetus, the teacher of Marcus, said, "Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace. Welcome the darkness. Welcome the silence. Welcome the heavy feeling in your limbs. Welcome the drifting thoughts. They are all guests in your house. Let them come, let them sit, let them leave. You remain by the fire. As you drift deeper, imagine the threads of your life loosening. The knot is untying itself. The day is unraveling, turning back into loose string, soft and pliable. The anxiety is unraveling. The planning is unraveling. You are no longer a tight knot. You are a loose, open loop. The shuttle of the loom slows down. Clack. Shh. The weaver is taking a break. The universe is taking a breath. You are safe in the loom. You are safe in the pattern. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing. Resting. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is out of place. The fabric is whole. Sleep is the space between the threads. It is the softness between the events. Sink into that softness. Your destiny tonight is simple. To rest, to recharge, to let the fibers of your soul knit themselves back together. Everything is arranged. Everything is woven. Everything is well. We leave the loom now. The weaving is done. We step out of the citadel, past the river, and walk into the deep, ancient woods of the soul. The air here smells of damp earth, pine needles, and rain. The light is filtered through a canopy of heavy green leaves, creating a soft, subaquatic twilight. It is quiet here, but it is a different kind of quiet than the silence of space. It is a living silence. The silence of growth. The silence of patience. Marcus Aurelius spent his life studying this silence. He looked at the olive trees in the Mediterranean sun, the fig trees heavy with fruit, the vines curling around the stone pillars. He saw that they accomplished the most difficult task in the universe, the creation of life, without making a sound. Nature, he wrote, does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Look at the tree, standing before you, in your mind's eye. It is an oak, massive and gnarled. Its roots go down deep into the bedrock, anchoring it against the storm. Its branches stretch up towards the light. Think about how this tree grew. It did not strain. It did not stress. It did not lie awake at night worrying if it would be tall enough, or if its leaves were the right shade of green. It simply followed the instructions written in its seed. It grew one cell at a time. Slowly, imperceptibly. You are part of this same nature. You are not a machine that needs to be fixed. You are a garden that needs to be tended. And right now, the garden is in its winter phase. It is time to lie fallow. We often punish ourselves for being tired. We treat our need for sleep as a defect, a weakness in the system. But look at the seasons. Winter is not a mistake. Winter is not a failure of the earth. It is a necessary retraction. The sap goes down into the roots. The energy is conserved. The outer world dies back so that the inner world can gather strength for the spring. Tonight is your winter. It is the season of the night. You are allowed to retract. You are allowed to drop your leaves. Everything, Marcus observed, is brought about by nature, and everything returns to nature. Feel the gravity of the earth pulling on your body again. This is the earth claiming its own. Your bones are made of calcium, like the limestone cliffs. Your blood is salty, like the sea. You are not on the earth. You are of the earth. When you lie down to sleep, you are simply returning to your mother. You are plugging back into the source. Consider the fig tree. Marcus loved this metaphor. He asked himself often, why should I be angry at a person for being difficult? Is the fig tree angry that it produces figs? Is the cucumber angry that it is bitter? It is a strange, funny thought, but it holds deep peace. Nature acts according to its nature. People act according to their nature. And your mind, right now, is acting according to its nature. It is thinking. That is what minds do, just as fig trees make figs. Do not be angry at your mind for thinking. Do not be angry at the fig tree. Just notice the figs. See the thoughts as fruits dropping from the branches. You do not have to eat them. You do not have to put them in a basket. You can just let them drop into the tall grass and decompose. Let the thoughts rot. It sounds aggressive, but in the forest, rotting is beautiful. It is how the soil is made. The worries of today, the stressors of the week, let them fall to the forest floor. Let the rain turn them into mulch. They will become the fertilizer for your peace tomorrow. Nature is pliable, Marcus wrote. Obedient. Be pliable tonight. Be like the grass that bends under the wind. The oak tree that resists the wind might break, but the grass bends flat and survives. Yield to the heaviness. Yield to the fatigue. There is a concept in Stoicism called physis, the force of growth and life. It is an intelligent force. It knows how to heal a cut on your finger without you having to tell it what to do. It knows how to digest your food. It knows how to beat your heart. Think about how much work your body does without your supervision. It is a miracle of automation. You do not have to steer the ship. The ship steers itself. So why do you feel you need to steer your life tonight? Why do you feel you need to solve the problems of tomorrow right now? The same force that heals the cut will handle tomorrow. The same force that grows the oak tree will grow your future. You can take your hands off the wheel. Breathe in the smell of the rain. The Stoics believed that the universe was a single living being, and we are just cells in its body. When you sleep, you are syncing your breath with the respiration of the cosmos. The forest breathes. Can you feel it? The expansion of the canopy, the contraction of the roots. It is a slow, tidal breath, slower than human breath. To enter the sleep state, try to slow your breathing down to match the trees. They breathe once a season. You can breathe once a minute. Slow, deep, down into the belly. Marcus wrote about the shortness of life, not to scare us, but to make us appreciate the cycle. Pass through this brief moment of time in accordance with nature, he said, and come to rest contentedly. Contentedly, like a ripe olive falling. There is no struggle in nature. Animals do not suffer from insomnia. A cat does not lie awake worrying about its retirement. A bird does not have anxiety about its reputation. They are fully immersed in the present moment. They trust their instincts. You are an animal too. Beneath the layers of logic, beneath the taxes and the emails and the philosophy, you are a biological creature. You need warmth. You need safety. You need rest. Give the animal what it needs. Tell your body, we are safe in the burrow. The predators are gone. The storm is outside. We are dry. Imagine the moss growing on a stone. It is soft, green, velvet. It takes years to grow an inch. It is in no rush. It simply exists, drinking the rain, hugging the rock. Wrap your mind in that moss. Soften the hard edges of your thoughts. If a sharp, spiked thought tries to intrude, I forgot to do this. I shouldn't have said that. Cover it in moss. Let the green softness grow over it until the sharp edges are rounded and fuzzy. It is just a stone in the forest now. It is part of the landscape. Universal nature has no external space, Marcus wrote. It transforms everything into itself. There is no outside. Everything is inside the system. Your anxiety is just energy. Your fear is just energy. Nature takes that energy and recycles it. It turns the forest fire into ash, which feeds the soil, which grows the pine. Let your anxiety burn itself out. Watch the flames die down. Watch the embers glow orange in the dark, then fade to gray, then turn to black. The heat dissipates. The cool night air rushes in to fill the space. You are standing in a grove of ancient redwoods now. They are so tall you cannot see the tops. They disappear into the mist. They have been here for 2,000 years. They were here when Marcus Aurelius was writing in his tent. They will be here long after you are gone. Lean against the bark of one of these giants. Feel the roughness, the solidity. It is immovable. This is the Stoic indifference. It does not mean not caring. It means being sturdy. It means having a trunk so thick that the petty winds of fortune cannot shake you. You can lean your entire weight against this philosophy. It will hold you up. Time is a river, we said before. But nature is the banks of the river. It is the structure that holds the flow. Feel the structure of your bones. They are the minerals of the earth, organized into a frame to hold you. You do not need to hold yourself together. Your skeleton does it for you. Your bed does it for you. The floor does it for you. The foundation of the house does it for you. The crust of the earth does it for you. You are supported by layers and layers of density. Sink through them. Sink through the mattress. Sink through the floorboards. Sink into the soil. Down here, in the earth, it is cool and dark. There is no light to hurt your eyes. There is no sound to hurt your ears. You are a seed planted in the winter. You are waiting. You are resting. Soon you will have forgotten the world, Marcus reminded himself. And soon the world will have forgotten you. This is the ultimate peace of nature, the anonymity of the forest. The trees do not know your name. The wind does not know your job title. To the earth, you are just another life form, precious and temporary. You are free from the burden of identity. You can take off the mask of who you are supposed to be. You can take off the costume of your personality. Underneath, you are just breath and blood and electricity. You are just life. And life wants to sleep. Observe the harmony of opposites. Day and night. Hot and cold. Waking and sleeping. You cannot have one without the other. To fight sleep is to fight half of reality. It is like trying to have a coin with only one side. Accept the night side of the coin. It is the dark side, the cool side. It is the side of dreams. Marcus wrote, "Nature has assigned a limit to sleep, just as to eating and drinking. You have reached your limit of waking. You have consumed enough consciousness for one day. The cup is full. If you pour more in, it will just spill over. It is time to stop pouring. It is time to drink the darkness. The forest is settling down. The birds have stopped singing. The wind has died down to a whisper. The only sound is the gentle, rhythmic dripping of condensation from the leaves. Drip, drip, drip. Count the drops. Each one is a second of relaxation. Each one is a muscle loosening. The brow smooths out. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. The hands uncurl. You are returning to the vegetative state. Not in a bad way, but in the holy way of plants. You are becoming a creature of slow, silent biological processes. You are photosynthesizing the darkness, turning it into energy for tomorrow. Don't go on discussing what a good person should be, Marcus said. Just be one. And tonight, don't go on discussing what a good sleeper should be. Just be one. Just sleep It is the most natural thing in the world. It is your birthright as a creature of nature. The earth is heavy. The sky is vast. The trees are silent sentinels guarding your rest. You are safe in the garden. You are safe in the cycle. Winter has come. The snow is falling softly in your mind, covering everything in a blanket of white silence. Hush, stillness, earth, sleep. We emerge from the forest now. The trees part, revealing a clearing paved with smooth, pale stones. In the center of this clearing stands a structure of perfect geometry. A temple, perhaps, or a workshop of the mind. It is made of marble, cool to the touch, solid and immovable. This is the domain of logic. This is the architecture of thought. We often think of logic as cold or rigid, but to Marcus Aurelius, logic was a shelter. It was the only thing that stood firm when the winds of emotion were howling. Logic is the bedrock. It is the foundation that does not shake. The ruling power within, he wrote, is self-contented. Let us step inside this structure. The air is still here and dry. There is a smell of parchment and stone dust. It feels clean. It feels organized. This is the place where we take the chaotic, shapeless clouds of our anxiety, and we give them form. We examine them, and then we dismantle them. Imagine that your worries are not ghosts haunting you, but physical objects. Imagine they are made of stone. They feel heavy in your chest, yes? That is because they have mass. But because they have mass, they can be moved. They can be broken down. Marcus practiced a technique called objective representation. It is the art of stripping away the story we tell ourselves and looking at the raw facts. He would look at a fine vintage wine and say, "This is just fermenting grape juice." He would look at a royal purple robe and say, "This is just sheep's wool dyed with the blood of a shellfish." By doing this, he removed the glamour. He removed the fear. He removed the judgment. Let us try this with your insomnia. What is it, really? Strip away the story that says, "I will be exhausted tomorrow." Strip away the fear that says, "I am broken." Look at the raw materials. You are a body lying on a soft surface. The room is dark. The air is still. Your muscles are resting, even if your mind is not. That is all. That is the objective reality. A body resting on a bed. When you reduce the monster to its parts, it stops being a monster. It just becomes a pile of facts. And facts cannot hurt you. Facts are neutral. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact, Marcus said. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Tonight, we are the architects of perspective. Imagine you are standing at a drafting table in this quiet stone room. You are drawing the blueprint of your night. You have a ruler and a compass. You can draw straight lines. Anxiety is a scribble. It creates loops and tangles. But logic draws a straight line. It connects point A to point B without drama. Draw a line in your mind now. A perfectly straight, horizontal line. It represents the horizon. It represents stability. Focus on that line. If a thought comes up that is jagged or messy, place it on the drafting table. Use your ruler. Smooth it out. Think of the structure of a stone arch. The stones are heavy, pushing against each other. But because of their arrangement, the pressure holds them up. The tension creates stability. Your life is an arch. The pressures you feel, the deadlines, the relationships, the expectations, they are just stones in the arch. They are holding you up. Without them, the structure would have no shape. So do not resent the pressure. Admire the engineering. Admire how much you can hold. You are stronger than you think. You are structurally sound. The mind without passions, Marcus wrote, is a fortress. No place is more secure. Let's inspect this fortress. Walk around the perimeter of your mind. Run your hand along the walls. They are thick. They are ancient. Nothing can breach them unless you lower the drawbridge. The noise of the world is outside the walls. The opinions of others are outside the walls. The past is outside. The future is outside. Inside, there is only you and the ruling faculty, the part of you that observes, decides, and rests. Sometimes we feel that our thoughts are collapsing in on us. But in architecture, space is just as important as the walls. You need to create space in your mind. Imagine a cathedral, high vaulted ceilings, vast open spaces where the sound echoes and fades. Create that space in your head right now. Push the walls back, raise the ceiling. Let the thoughts float up into the rafters and disappear in the darkness. You are not the cluttered basement of your mind. You are the high, airy nave. You are the space where the light enters. If you are distressed by anything external, Marcus said, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Revoke. It is a powerful, legalistic word. It means to take back. You have the power to revoke the power of your thoughts. You can look at a worry and say, I revoke your status. You are not an emergency. You are just a thought. Imagine you are filing these thoughts away. You are in a vast archive within the temple. There are rows and rows of cabinets. You take the thought, what if I fail? And you place it in a file folder. You label it hypotheticals. You slide it into a drawer. You close the drawer. Click. It is filed. It is dealt with. You do not need to hold it in your hands anymore. You can come back to it tomorrow if you wish, or you can leave it there to gather dust. The choice is yours. The architecture of the mind is built on the concept of logos, universal reason. It means that the universe makes sense. Even the chaos has a pattern if you zoom out far enough. Think of mathematics. Think of the calm certainty of 2 plus 2 = 4. It is always true. It was true 1,000 years ago, and it will be true 1,000 years from now. There is no anxiety in math. There is only order. Let your mind rest on the concept of order. The planets moving in ellipses, the geometric structure of a snowflake, the symmetry of a leaf. The universe loves order. And deep down, your mind loves order too. When you cannot sleep, you are often experiencing entropy, disorder. To counter this, visualize symmetry. Imagine a perfect circle. Trace it in your mind, round and round. No beginning, no end. Just a smooth, continuous line. The soul of the universe is social, Marcus wrote. It brings things together. Let your scattered thoughts come together into a coherent whole. You are not a fragmented mess. You are a designed system. Your heart is a pump. Your lungs are bellows. Your brain is a circuit. It is all working perfectly. You can trust the machine. Sometimes, to build a new structure, we must dismantle the old one. We must deconstruct the day. Imagine you are taking the day apart, brick by brick. Here is the brick of the morning commute. Take it down, set it aside. Here is the brick of the lunch meeting. Take it down, set it aside. Here is the brick of the evening chores. Take it down. You are clearing the site. You are creating a flat, empty foundation for sleep. You cannot build the palace of dreams on top of the rubble of the day. You must clear the ground, sweep the dust away. Watch the floor become clean and bare. Stop drifting, Marcus told himself. You are not going to read your memoirs or the histories of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Throw away your books. Stop letting yourself be distracted. He meant, stop consuming. Stop adding more information to the pile. The time for input is over. The construction phase is finished. Now is the time for habitation. You have built the house of your life. Now, live in it. Now, rest in it. Go into the inner chamber of the fortress. There is a single chair there. Sit down. The walls are soundproof. The chaos of the world hits the outside of the walls and bounces off. It cannot reach you. You are the watchman of the fortress, but your shift is over. You can hang up your keys. Dig within, he said again. Within is the fountain of good. In the center of this stone room, there is a fountain, a small geometric pool of water. It is perfectly still, reflecting the ceiling. Look into the water. See your own reflection. But it is not the reflection of your anxious self. It is the reflection of your rational self, calm, composed, eternal. The part of you that knows that this night is just a small blip in a long life. The Stoics practiced the dichotomy of control. There are things you can control and things you cannot. You cannot control whether you fall asleep in the next 5 minutes. You cannot control the sun rising. You cannot control the traffic outside. But you can control your position. You can control your breath. You can control your acceptance of this moment. Focus entirely on what is within the walls of your control. The feeling of the pillow, the slow inhale, the relaxation of the left hand, the relaxation of the right hand. Everything else is outside the walls. Let it stay outside. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do, Marcus wrote. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. Your action right now is inaction. Your deed for the night is to do nothing. It is a noble deed. To rest is to serve the body, which serves the mind, which serves the world. By sleeping, you are being a good citizen of the cosmos. Feel the structural integrity of the dark. Darkness is the mortar that holds the night together. It fills the cracks. It smooths the rough edges. You are solid. You are heavy. You are made of matter that has existed since the dawn of time. You are as enduring as the stone. Let the logic of the universe soothe you. The logic says, you are tired. Therefore, you will eventually sleep. It is a syllogism. It is a guarantee. Biology always wins in the end. You do not have to force it. You just have to wait for the equation to balance. And it is balancing now. The numbers are aligning. The geometry is resolving. The walls of the room are getting softer. The stone is turning into mist. The architecture of thought is dissolving into the architecture of dreams. You have inspected the foundations, and they are strong. You have locked the gates. You have cleared the floor. The work is done. The tools are put away. The architect lays down his pen. The structure holds. You are safe inside. Rest in the certainty. Rest in the order. Rest in the calm, cool, rational silence of the night. We have walked through the Citadel. We have floated down the river. We have ascended to the stars, wandered the forest, and built the fortress of logic. Now, we come to the edge of the known world. In your mind, walk out of the stone temple of thought. Walk past the trees. You find yourself standing on a shore of dark, volcanic sand. The air is warm and salt-heavy. In front of you stretches the ocean of rest. It is infinite. It is dark, but not a frightening dark. It is the color of deep indigo, the color of the sky just before total night. The water is calm, breathing against the shore with a slow, rhythmic hush. Wash in, wash out. This is where the individual drop returns to the sea. Marcus Aurelius often contemplated the great deep, the abyss of eternity that surrounds our tiny flicker of life. To the anxious mind, eternity is overwhelming. But to the tired mind, eternity is a bed. It is vast enough to hold you. Pass through this brief moment of time in accordance with nature, he wrote, and come to rest. Come to the water's edge. Feel the water lap against your feet. It is the perfect temperature, neither hot nor cold, just the exact temperature of your blood. It invites you in. Sleep is a form of surrender. We spend our days holding our shape, maintaining our identity, defending our boundaries. I am this person. I have this job. I have these problems. It takes so much energy to keep that shape intact. But the ocean asks for no shape. The ocean asks you to become liquid. Wade in deeper. The water rises to your knees, your waist, your chest. You feel the buoyancy taking the weight off your legs. You feel the spine decompressing. You are returning to the primordial state. Before you were a person with a name and a schedule. You were just life floating in fluid. You are going back to that safety. The soul, Marcus said, is a sphere. Imagine your consciousness as a sphere of light. As you enter the ocean, the hard shell of that sphere begins to dissolve. The light spreads out, diffusing into the water. You are not losing yourself. You are expanding. You are becoming part of the tide. Lean back. Lift your feet off the sandy bottom. You are floating. There is nothing to hold on to here, and that is the point. You cannot hold on to water. You cannot grip the waves. You have to trust the density of the element to support you. Trust the night. The night is a physical force. It is a wave that has rolled over the hemisphere, extinguishing the fires of industry, quieting the voices of the markets. You are riding the crest of that wave. Time is a river, we said. But here, the river ends. Here, there is no past dragging you back. There is no future pulling you forward. There is only this deep suspension of the present. Marcus wrote, Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both. They were absorbed alike into the life force of the world. In the ocean of sleep, there is no hierarchy. The emperor and the mule driver are both just sleepers. Your successes today do not matter here. Your failures do not matter here. The ocean does not care about your resume. It only cares that you breathe. Feel the relief of that anonymity. You are free from the burden of being you. You can just be a biological event, a heart beating in the dark. Listen to the sound of the ocean inside your own body, the swoosh of blood in your ears, the tide of air in your lungs. You are a microcosm of the sea. The water outside matches the water inside. There is no separation. All things are interwoven, Marcus reminded us, the warp and the woof. Here, the threads have dissolved into pure liquid. There are no knots left. The tension is gone. Drift further out. The shore is far behind you now. The lights of the land, the lights of your responsibilities, are just tiny pinpricks on the horizon, getting smaller and smaller. They cannot reach you here. You are out beyond the breakers, where the swells are long and slow. Rise and fall. Rise and fall. It is a rocking motion, ancient and comforting. It is the motion of the cradle. It is the motion of the ship. Soon, Marcus wrote, you will have forgotten the world, and soon the world will have forgotten you. Let the world forget you for 8 hours. It is okay. The world will spin without your supervision. The emails will sit in the server. The problems will wait in the drawer. You are off the clock in the cosmic sense. You have clocked out of existence for a little while. Feel the water supporting the back of your head. Relax the neck. Let the head fall back. Look up at the nothingness above you. There is a concept in philosophy called ataraxia, unperturbedness, total tranquility. It is the state of the water when the wind dies down. Your mind is approaching ataraxia. The waves of thought are getting smaller. They are no longer crashing, they are just ripples. And now, even the ripples are fading. The surface is becoming glass. If a thought arises, a bubble rising from the deep, watch it break the surface and disappear. Pop. It is gone. It does not disturb the depths. The deep water is always still, no matter what is happening on the surface. Sink into that depth. Dig within, Marcus said. Within is the fountain of good. We are submerged in that fountain now. We are bathing in the source. Feel the heaviness of your limbs. They feel like they are made of lead, sinking pleasantly into the mattress. Your body is heavy, but your spirit is light. This is the separation of sleep. The body becomes a stone, anchoring you to the earth, while the consciousness becomes a vapor, drifting free. You are safe to let go. The tether is strong. You will wake up when the sun rises. But for now, the tether is long and loose. You can drift as far as you need to. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Make your thoughts soft. Make them fluid. Think of the color blue. Dark, deep, endless blue. Think of the word hush. Think of the word slow. You are moving into the theta state, the borderland between waking and sleeping. The logic of the stone room is fading. The linear time of the river is fading. You are entering the dream time. Here, shapes shift. Here, gravity softens. Marcus often wrote about the lamp of the mind. Do not let the lamp go out, he said. But tonight, we are gently turning the wick down. We are not extinguishing the light. We are dimming it to a soft, warm glow. A nightlight in the center of the ocean. It is enough light to know you are safe, but low enough to let the shadows embrace you. Rest, the ocean whispers. Rest. The day is done. The book is closed. The philosophy is finished. You have learned enough. You have thought enough. You have been enough. Now, you simply are. There is no more doing. There is only being. You are a drop of water returning to the sea. You are a star returning to the nebula. You are a child returning to the mother. Drift, sink, float. The shore is gone. The sky is gone. There is only the warm, holding dark. Nature is the source of all things, Marcus said, and to nature I return. Return now. Return to the silence. Good night, philosopher. Good night, voyager. Good night, friend. Sleep